wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Good morning to you on this Wednesday, December 11th. Morning Barbados. Good to have you for another Morning Barbados show. I know that you've been having a good time this Yuletide season because I've seen you out and about, shopping around, getting the hustle and bustle on, and of course, making your homes look and feel the way you need them to for Christmas. So we have some tips that we want to share with you in just a little bit about all the things you need to take care of, because sometimes in getting busy around this time of year, there's some very critical things that we often forget. Before we continue, though, we want to remind you that Morning Barbados is brought to you with the compliments of Jordan Supermarket at 4 fantastic locations, 2 in Bridgetown, 1 in Fairchild Street, the other in Baxter's Road, on the west coast at Fitz Village, and in the north at Speightstown. So make Jordan Supermarket your stop for everything you need this holiday season and more. Remember, you can be a part of a big giveaway as well. Jordan Supermarket inviting you to enter their Spend and Eat competition 2024 with $100,000 in free groceries to be won, large screen television sets. You have me already. A big TV and we gone clear. How about that? And here's how you enter. From now until the 31st of January 2025, and for every $50 spent in cash purchases at any branch of Jordan Supermarket, that's Baxter's Road, Fairchild Street, Fitz Village, or Speightstown, you'll receive an entry form. Clearly print your name, address, and telephone number, and drop it in the entry box located at the supermarket where you shop. There are going to be weekly draws that take place every single Wednesday for 5 $200 grocery vouchers, and that happens at each supermarket. So you can win each and every week at Jordan Supermarket. So there will be 5 lucky winners every week at each location. So definitely giving lots of people an opportunity to have a fantastic Christmas. Then, of course, the big draw for that bigger competition of $100,000, that's happening on the 5th of February. Coming up coming up a little later in the show, you're also going to have a chance to jingle all the way and win with the compliments of Standard Distribution and powered by Flow. So we're going to present some prizes, ask you a simple question, you answer, pick a number, and you could win. How about that? But we wanted to start just where I started by telling you about all the ways that you have to secure self and home and family this Christmas season. And already we've been hearing about house fires. So before we even start, just want to say, send out our best wishes to those who have been impacted by fire. And I know that even though it might happen at a single dwelling home, that doesn't impact just the one person. It impacts the entire community. And then, of course, people are connected through their family photos and keepsakes and memorables, things that are really irreplaceable. So it really is a tragic thing to have a house fire. But now we're hearing that the Barbados Fire Service is urging homeowners to be vigilant and take precautions this Yuletide season. So we've invited a few fire officers to sit in with us this morning and talk a little bit about some of the challenges that might be there that we can tackle in terms of being a little more maybe observant or figuring out what we can do with our homes to make sure that we don't have that hazard staring us down the face. So Station Officer Damien Bain of the Barbados Fire Service is here. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Tisha. Good morning, Barbados.
Good to have you back. Also here, the first time with me certainly, is Station Officer Angela Rivera, also of the Barbados Fire Service. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Barbados.
All right, it's good to have both of you here with us. And usually we're here talking about activities that are coming up or an open day. But here we are again, um, opening of December, and we're looking at a whole slew of house fires already. So let's talk a little bit about what are some of the major ways that people are losing their homes to fire. Officer Bain.
Okay. So just to broaden the context a bit, when we look at, we're coming to the end of 2024, and when we look at the number of fires we've responded to for this year compared to last year, 2023. So overall, we've had a decrease in the number of fires overall that we responded to, which is about 21% or so. But when we go into the subcategory of house fires, we've recognized that for this year compared to last year, we've had a slight increase of about 4% or so. So that is the main concern for us, in that for this year, we've recognized that we've responded to more house fires. And like you said earlier, every house loss is of value. You lose your property, which is of value. You lose your contents, which, cost aside, has significant sentimental value to most persons. So we're really here this morning to help further reinforce the messages that we would have been putting out throughout the year in terms of fire safety, what to do, what not to do, and some of those human behaviors that can contribute to fire development as well as the things that you can do to prevent, and if a fire should occur, what you can pretty much put in place to ensure that even if you should lose a portion of your property or a portion of your contents, that you can actually mount a response to safeguard what you have invested in.
Officer Rivera, what are some of the most common causes of house fires that you're coming across?
Well, we do get electrical fires. We get unattended stoves. We also have persons who, I don't want to say, but they smoke and then they don't pay attention to those cigarette butts. You have children who play with matches. So these are some of the things that can happen in the home. A lot of persons are not cognizant that they're actually doing these things or that these things are happening. So that's why there are certain things that you should do to make sure that these incidents don't occur. So if you have electrical wiring that is frayed, then that is something that you will want to call in a qualified electrician to look at, and maybe not tackle it yourself, because if you don't understand everything in terms of the electricity and the connections, then you can actually have a connection that is not safe. You have to pay attention to children and what they're doing, because they mimic you. So they see you lighting matches or they see you using lighters, they will also try that given the opportunity. And chance is they will do it when no one else is around. So those are some of the things that we hear about, some of the things that we look at, some of the precautions that we put out yearly. We also have Light and Power. They actually do put out their fire safety tips around this time, and we urge persons to listen to these tips.
All right, with these tips that you're talking about, let's delve into some maybe subcategories of what you talked about a little bit more. In terms of electrical, you talked about frayed wires. Let's talk more about that. So there are people with frayed extension cords and stuff like that and still using them?
Extension cords can be it, fans, irons, these are all things that you have to look at. Your small appliances in your kitchen. You would hear often, do not run extension cords under your rugs, because you are not going to see what is happening to that cord as you traverse over it. So you can actually be causing damage and not know. So these are things that you need to look at as a homeowner to make sure that you don't have these cords that are frayed. You also want to look at how, or let me just say, what's happening when you're using your equipment. So if you get dimming of lights when you plug in certain equipment, if you get like that spark when you get to the outlet and it sparks, that is telling you something. That is telling you that you may have an overloaded circuit. So those are some of the things. Some other things would be burning. We call it indiscriminate burning. And why we say indiscriminate, because when you burn your rubbish on the outside, it gives off that smoke, and that smoke is affecting somebody else. So if you're not cognizant that your smoke is affecting your neighbor, then your neighbor is going to complain. And if it's something you do on a regular basis, then it puts everybody at harm, not just for fire, but also for some health concerns.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit, Officer Bain, now about the things that have kind of come to be the everyday, all day things to do. Charging your phones, charging up your iPads and computers and this and that. So a lot of people are using these particular charging devices multiple times a day, sometimes from multiple individuals. Let's talk best practice in terms of the use of these implements. As I've heard that in the past, this also has been a cause of fire here in Barbados.
Yes. So one of the key things to note is that you really should use the charger that was bought with the particular device, because obviously the devices charge differently. Their capacities are different, so there should really be no interchanging of chargers from one device to the next. Once your device has been fully charged or charged to the capacity that you want, you really should not be leaving the chargers connected to the electrical outlets as well. Because as long as they're connected to the outlets, then they're actually transferring that energy along the charger as well. So these are some of the things, the critical things that people should pay attention to. Like you mentioned before, you should be assessing the charges as well to ensure that they're not broken, they're not frayed, because that then presents a potential ignition source if it comes in contact with something combustible. So once we pay attention to those things, then I believe that that lessens the risk and the potential for fire to occur in the home. And that goes for any charger, laptop, cell phone. Obviously, there are various devices now, especially toys, that are coming with these lithium type batteries that require charging, and the concept remains the same throughout any device that has to be charged.
And Officer Rivera, I know that we're here at a very special time of year. Mentioned that where a lot more people might be putting out their lights and stuff like that. So let's look at the best ways to put your lights out or string them, or you have a Christmas tree. There are many of us who like real Christmas trees as well. That presents
Yes.
a very different challenge. So let's talk about decorative things, lights at this time of year and the like.
Okay, so I'm going to concentrate on the lights because that's where you're going to have that electrical connection. So the first thing you want to make sure, and especially if you're having these live or these fresh trees, you want to make sure that that they're stable, that these trees are not put in a way that they can fall over and maybe pull on the cords or have it fall on something that will cause a fire. So that is one of the things that you want to make sure that the tree is actually stable. And what you have to look for these trees is that they don't dry out, which means you have to add water to these trees basically every day.
Because if they dry out,
If they
Become
dry
more
out, that's
combustible.
when they become, yes, combustible or flammable, meaning that they can burn more readily. So with the electrical lighting, you want to make sure that your lighting works properly. And then you will have to look to see if it's for indoor use or outdoor use. What we say is when, at the end of the day, what you can do is just plug the lights out as you go to bed. Or if you're leaving home, plug the light out. And do this every single time.
you wanted to add something?
Well, in addition to that, you want to ensure too that the trees, whether synthetic or live, they're not blocking any exits in case you have to make an evacuation from your home. But in addition to that, we want to encourage Bajans too to slow down a bit and take some time to look around the home, especially when you're doing all the running around with the shopping and what's not, to do one final walk through of the home to ensure that the non-essentials are disconnected. So you don't want to leave your standing fans connected and on. You don't want to leave the same cell phone and laptop chargers connected to the electrical outlets, because like we said before, these things once connected are actually generating that energy. And once you eliminate those risks that, you know, potentially usually could lead to something if they are not properly maintained, then you lessen that potential for a fire to occur in your home. You also want to check to ensure that your stove is off. Because these are things that when you're rushing around, you may be trying to get out the house in the morning or trying to get to one of the malls before it closes, that you tend to have the potential to overlook. One of the key things too is the iron when you're pressing, because some people may press just before they leave home and then rushing forget to disconnect the iron as well. And I want to caution Barbadians that even though some of the irons now, as technology increases, they have the potential to shut off by themselves once a particular point of time has passed where it is not being used. These devices are man-made, and that particular function may not work at that point in time, and therefore the iron may continue to generate that heat, which has the potential then to transfer to something else that is combustible. So while yes, the electrical considerations are important, there are some human behaviors that also contribute to fire development as well.
I know one of the things that you talked about, officer, was cooking. Unattended stoves. Is it that people are falling asleep, or is it that they're not cleaning the stove surface, and so you get, a lot of the grease and so on?
A combination of
Yes,
that.
it's not just one thing. It can be a combination of those things. And you can just step out to go to the neighbor to say hi, hello, and just whatever you're cooking just boils over and causes something to happen in your kitchen. But I want to highlight something that happened over the last month with those lighters. You know, we have the lighters, the trigger. Sometimes they don't always go out. So if you put them on a surface that is combustible and that lighter has not gone out, that can also cause a fire.
Well, that's interesting. Sometimes they don't always go out.
They don't
Very
always
interesting. All right, so we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at some essential fire equipment that we can use in our homes, look at the proper use of it, and get some more tips from officers Bain and Rivera on how we can keep ourselves and our families and homes safe this Christmas season.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country?
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, welcome back. It's just about 6:25 here on Morning Barbados. And either somebody is trying to reach Officer Bain or all of those alarms are going crazy. Those are reminders? That's a lot of snoozing. So Officers Rivera and Bain are with us. And you note now that we have brought out some apparatus that can help us keep our homes secure. So I'll start with you, Officer Rivera, to tell us all about this. And we've all heard about smoke detectors. Yeah, so how do these work, or how should we keep them?
So what I have here is a smoke detector, and these can be placed on the ceiling or a very high wall in your home. And you can have them on all levels, have them outside the kitchen, not directly over the stove, but away from the stove, and have them outside bedrooms, corridors. That can also work. Depending on what you're doing, you may want to have the detector in the room, on the wall or on the ceiling. So we have one here, simple operation, and they open, they carry a battery. This one is designed for a 9-volt battery, and it has a ionization chamber, and here you will have the alarm sounding. So what happens, there's a little orifice where the smoke gets in, and as these smoke particles get in, then it disrupts the electrical currents that are taking place, and here we can't see them. And as long as those particles clog up the chamber, then it sends the signal to the bell, and that's where you get your song going off. And it's very piercing, it's very apt, it's very adequate. Especially if it's silent, you can hear this, even if you're on different levels, you can hear this throughout your home.
It's important that you change the batteries, guys, because there's so many people with smoke detectors, and they kind of just do like the George Foreman grill, set it and forget it. And you have the you have the smoke detector there for years. So how often should you check your smoke detectors to make sure they're working?
Well, it actually gives you a notification if you forget. So it is going to be an annoying little beep, beep, beep. So you'll hear that. But there is a way to check it to see if your smoke detector is working. And even if you get the alarm going off when you check it, so you just press and hold, and it will sound off. So you might get the alarm sounding off, but then you get the beep, beep to say that your battery needs changing. And maybe you can check them every 6 months. Well, every month if you're really into your fire safety, you can check your detector every month to make sure that it's working, and then listen out for that beep beep if you don't have a regular time to change your battery.
All right, good stuff. And now we have some smoke detectors. Are all of them smoke detectors? She said. No, that's over here. Some fire extinguishers. Are they all the same? Do you have to buy a specific one based on the size of your home, or if it's an operation, for example? There are a lot of people who kind of work from home. They have a small shop. They do cooking and stuff like that. So let's talk about the requirements for maybe a residential property as compared to one that might have some commercial activity happening, and then moving to smaller commercial entities, and what the requirements are.
Okay, so fires are classified differently based on what is burning. So there are 5 main classes: ordinary combustibles, flammable liquids and gases, electrical, metals, and commercial cooking media. So not all extinguishers are the same. They're built according to the type of fire they're built to extinguish. So what we have here is a carbon dioxide extinguisher and a ABC dry chemical extinguisher. So this is built to extinguish Class B and Class C, which would be flammable liquids and gases and electrical. While this can be used on ordinary combustibles that you would find in the home, like paper, plastics, the carpet, etc., and also flammable liquids. So you have your alcohol, your gasoline, your diesel, and also electrical fires. So let's say, for example, one of your cameras or your TVs started to burn, and it was electrically energized, meaning that it was connected to the electrical outlet. You'll be able to use one of these 2 extinguishers on that particular fire. But bear in mind that there are also water extinguishers. Now we know water is a conductor of electricity. So if we're speaking about the camera that's burning and we can see that it is still electrically energized, you will not use that one because it doesn't fall within that classification for that type of fire. So it really comes down to what is burning and having an idea of basically your surroundings and the types of media, and stuff you have in your surroundings helps you to determine which type of extinguisher you will want for your particular environment. Now, in the home, if you look at any typical home, most homes carry things that are of ordinary use. You may have some gasoline, diesel at home as well for your lawnmowers, a weed whacker, for the cutting of grass, and predominantly within the home, because of all the devices we have, for sure the potential for electrical fires is there as well. So this extinguisher, for example, which is a multi-purpose extinguisher, is best for the home because it covers a wider array of classes that are found in the home. But generally, depending on commercial, home, or any environment, you really make a determination of what are the things you have in the environment, and that gives you a better understanding of the type of extinguisher that you need. And these come in different sizes as well. They go up to about 30 pounds, and this goes up to about 9 kilograms. This is actually a gas, while this is expelled as a powder. And they're checked. They're supposed to be checked annually, and they should be properly mounted and accessible to everyone.
All right, so you said the one in the center, which is a multi-purpose one,
yes,
is the one that maybe best suits the house. And you would advise people to not just bring it in and kind of hang it there. Make sure that you and the other people in the house know how to use it. I would say that that's of equal importance. Is that a service that's offered by the Barbados Fire Service where people can get that instruction?
Yes, most definitely. We offer training. We offer training to homeowners. We offer training to companies. So you can have an individual and they want that training, they can also get that training.
So they just call and come in?
Yes.
They can call us at 535-7884, or they can send us an email at email address academy@fireservice.gov.bb, and we'll be happy to engage them and make the training available, because at the end of the day, it really makes no sense, or it doesn't add any value to the investment of the equipment if you do not know how to use it. And you could very well save your property, your contents, or your life if you know how to use the equipment in any situation where fire may occur. So we do encourage persons to reach out to us so that we can provide them with that assistance.
All right, let's go through a few scenarios. Because sometimes reaction time can make all the difference, but some people just don't know what to do. I know you have a case of the nerves, but if, for example, you're frying, I know this has happened to me before, and you have some of the oil spilling over, and then you have fire coming into the pan. How should you react to that? Because there have been instances where I've heard of people who have thrown water on the fire, which can make it much worse.
Well, if you remember the adage, oil and water does not mix. So water is not the best thing that you will want to put on it. There are different things that people say, oh, I've done this and I've done that. Persons have used salt, they have used flour. So where you can put these things into a burning pan, you have to be cognizant that these materials will raise the level of the oil and you can still have a spillover on your stove. But something like this, is flaring up, you can take a cover and you can actually cover that pan and make sure that you turn your gas knob off. So that can work, that helps. There are fire blankets that you can use. You can put that over. What I want persons to understand, because I cannot control what a person might or might not do, but think in terms of safety and what is available to you. So if you have to go across the room to get the extinguisher, that might not be the best thing. You just look at what's available to you at hand and you use that, but not water.
All right, and finally, if it's an electrical fire, what's your advice? Should you try to turn off the breaker box? What should you do?
If possible, and you can stop the electrical supply by engaging the breaker box, what that does is that it then changes the type of fire it is, because you're no longer having the device electrically energized. That then allows you to apply water to that particular device. But if you're unable to stop the electrical supply, then water is out of the question, and one of the recommended devices that is designed for that particular type of fire. But this works well if the persons are trained, and with training comes confidence. And you know, if you're not confident, then when something happens, the first reaction may be to run or to panic. But we encourage persons to get the training, and not just have the training, but you know, continuously train and keep the skill sets up. Because more often than not, you may have an extinguisher for many years and not use it, but it just takes that one time after many years for something to happen, and we want that persons are well trained and understand how the equipment works, so that when it happens, they react instantaneously to the event.
All right, thank you so much, Officers Bain and Rivera of the Barbados Fire Service, for coming in and sharing with us this morning. Lots of information, but I think it's needed. Make sure your homes are insured as well. I know sometimes it feels like, you know, what's this cost? Do I have to do it? But you really should. So look into it, call up an insurance agent and find out, because we're hearing too much about people losing their homes, no insurance, and then having to start from scratch. So we definitely will do this again, but some tips that we can think about as we go forward. Hey, the time has moved on to just about 24 minutes now before 7 o'clock. Stay with us. We have lots more coming up.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and
Welcome back to Morning Barbados. Time for the next chapter. This time around, we're looking at some very interesting books. So we have to welcome to Morning Barbados to share with us Dr. Julianne Hinkson, who is a veterinarian, but who is an animal lover.
Indeed.
First of all, and she's combining that with just generally her love for the Caribbean and animals, and maybe sharing more information and putting it into a coloring book. So welcome and good morning.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here.
All right. So I see you have a stack of books over there. Bring us up to speed.
Well, this is my Caribbean Animals Air and Sea A to Z book. It's a writing and coloring book for 4 to 6 year olds. It introduces them to the Caribbean and 26 animals that we see in the region. It focuses on 18 different Caribbean islands, and yeah, it's an interesting book, and it gets children talking about animals that they don't usually see.
All right, so here in the Caribbean, I'm going to reach over and look so that I can see some of these animals. What really kind of helps you to develop this deep love for animals?
Oh, whoa. That started from really young, running around and playing with sheep. But I think as I grew up, I realized that we have, there's so much in the Caribbean that we have that we don't know. And animals are usually something that we have around us, but we don't necessarily recognize or acknowledge. So this really was to showcase what we have, because we all know the African animals, the tigers, lions, but we don't know what we have right at home.
It's true, because I'm looking at a few things, and I'm not sure. Well, I've heard of the kiskadee, yes, but types of birds found in the Caribbean. This is jacquot.
Jacko.
Jacko. Never heard of a jacko. It looks like a parrot.
It is. That's a St. Lucia parrot. Yeah.
Oh, so he has a special name?
Yes.
Oh, good morning, Lucians.
They all do.
Of course, I know of the hawksbill turtle. He's a Bajan.
Actually, that's the national sea creature of Antigua.
Yeah, but don't they belong to us too?
Well, yes. That's one of the reasons why I chose actually air and sea animals.
Okay.
Because they may be associated with the island or country, but because animals don't respect national boundaries, even though they are from Antigua, you also see them in Barbados.
Unless you're talking about the flying fish, because they definitely don't respect national boundaries. Come back home, flying fish. They're all done by Tobago. Yeah?
Indeed.
Pheasants. I don't know if I've ever seen a pheasant in Barbados.
Yes. No, but that's a Guyanese animal. That's the national bird of Guyana. Yes.
A kanji pheasant.
Yes.
Very, very interesting. So how did you determine that you were going to kind of split it up in this way? Because now there are 3 books, or are there 2?
Well, actually there are 4, but they're okay. So this one is going to be released next year, which is Counting Caribbean Animals with Me.
Okay.
So this one is available right now. There's also an Introducing Caribbean Animals to Your Young Student, because I recognize that Even though these animals are common in the Caribbean, every Caribbean person doesn't know every animal. So my aim is to give the parents or educators information so that they can tell the children as they learn about the animal.
It's so interesting because there's often much conversation about animals, but you're right. When you look at the counting charts or the animal charts and the names of animals, they're always these animals that you would find on a safari or what have you, not necessarily the ones that are found here in the region.
Yeah.
So like a queen conch, people, I've not been back to Bahamas in a long time, but I know they love conch. And then a brown pelican. Is a brown pelican different from the pelicans we have here in Barbados? I know that's supposed to be one of our national birds. I don't know if people know that.
No, the brown pelican is the pelican we see here.
Okay.
That is seen throughout the region, yes.
And there's a little white bird that I see. I thought that was...
An ibis, perhaps?
Probably.
An ibis,
yeah,
right.
I see a lot of that. So
there are different types of ibises, and the white one we see here, but the scarlet ibis is the national bird of Trinidad, so that's also featured in the book. So you would see, there are certain animals that you will see in your country, but then there are others that you will never see that are only endemic to the nation. So the idea is to introduce you to the ones that you don't know while having a conversation about that particular animal or that particular nation, and giving you more information about each animal so that you can give it to the student or the child in bite-sized bits that they can take in the information.
absolutely. I know we're looking at some sea creatures that we don't necessarily refer to as animals, and this is maybe why we visit the animal flower cave.
Something, yes.
Yes. So let's talk a little bit about this one, for example.
The Estospongia rosariensis is actually the species that I use to talk about coral, because Barbadians don't like to think of themselves as animal lovers, but we live on a coral island, and without animals, there would be no coral island, so there would be no Barbados. So that species I've put specifically in there for us to talk about the fact that coral are animals, and that we, especially Barbadians, are definitely animal lovers because we love our land, and that's a coral island.
Blackbirds and doves. I think we know of blackbirds and doves. Bajans know about things like that, but a lot of the things in this book, and you say it's for ages 4 to 6, so it would be really wonderful for parents to kind of introduce the little ones and learn themselves.
Yes.
If they don't know as well. I had no clue that there was such a big variety in terms of parrots, for example, that varied from island to island.
Yes, indeed, indeed. In fact, most of the islands will probably have an indigenous parrot. So there's the St. Lucia parrot or the Jacko. There's the St. Vincent parrot, the Cicero. So there's Cayman Island parrot. There's the Grand Cayman. In fact, Cayman Island has 2 types of parrots. So throughout the region, there are different animals. Some of them are indigenous. Some of them, go from island to island. And so this book kind of introduces you to what we have in the Caribbean.
All right, so Air and Sea is this one.
Yes.
And how long has this one been around? I'm trying to ascertain how long it took you to move from the one book into the other. It started with this one, the Air and Sea?
It started with this one. It started with a dream, actually. I had a reoccurring dream of God taking me to the different islands and showing me different animals. And I was like, yes, I want to go to sleep so I can get a new one. And I said to my husband, what you need to do is you need to create this device that you can plug into my brain so you can see the animals. They're so cool. Yeah. At the same time, my daughter was having some challenges at school, staying interested. So I had sent her to some gifted and talented classes. And they were teaching her thinking skills, what to think about. If you already know the information that your teacher is sharing, what you can think about that can keep you engaged. So I sort of combined the thinking skills with him saying, well, instead of creating a device to plug into your brain, why don't you just write a book? And I was like, oh, such a stupid idea. Write a book? I can write a book. But eventually the idea took root, and that came out of, this is where the books came. Initially, the information I had was so much that the editor said, you can't put all this in one book. You have to considered
Narrow it
doing
down,
it in,
yeah.
into multiple books, and so it grew into a series of books.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful. What's the other one? This
one is counting. It really has the same information, but it introduces where the animals live.
Okay, I want to see the. So that's Air and Sea.
Yeah,
and this one is counting by animals.
Yeah, counting Caribbean animals. It features the same animals, but it introduces the habitats that the animals are in. Because the series talks about, so the first one is who am I, and the next one is where do I live, and then it's what do I eat, and friends and family, and then we get into really talking about what I want to talk about, which is conservation and sustainability, which is the real aim of the series.
Oh, that's some interesting stuff. So there are 4 books in the series.
In this series, this level.
In this particular series,
Yeah.
and there's going to be a new one in 2025.
That's the new one that you're holding. That one is not available to the public.
I have the prototype
here.
Yes. Counting and sticker book, so wonderful for the little ones. And I mean, like, this makes for a good conversation. It opens the little ones' brains kind of in a different way. As you drive by or you go for a drive or you're outside, you can tell them about the various types of animals and so on. So I can see that this definitely would make a great little stocking stuffer.
Yes, indeed.
For the little ones for Christmas and beyond. And the good thing about it is it's hardback too. So you don't have to worry too much about maybe the little ones getting it dirty or,
yes.
If it gets a little wet, you can kind of wipe it off. That's what I like about the harder covers for books for little ones. So congratulations. These books illustrated by Megan Campbell. And I love that the first thing you said to me when you got here was, I love animals. Yeah?
Indeed, yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So my daughter's probably watching and she's probably thinking, well, I'm happy there's someone there to try to convince my mother too. We shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see.
Yes.
But thank you for coming in and congratulations on the books. Where can we find them?
They're currently in 6 locations. We have them in Brydon's. We have them at UE Bookshop. We also have them at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society Bookshop, Indigo Bookshop and Stationery. We have them in dental offices, Gentle Touch Dental Care, and in El Bafel Pharmacy. In addition, you can also get them from me.
All right,
so you can email me.
Reach out directly to Dr. Julianne Hinkson by email or otherwise. It's Barbados. We can find the books and get a copy. I think they're fantastic. Even looking at them, there's some sea animals and animals of the air that I didn't even recognize myself. Definitely an A to Z, Caribbean animals. Love it, and we look forward to the new book in the coming year. Once that one is available, you have to come on back. All right, and next time maybe I'll let Dr. Hinkson bring some animals to share with us on the set. Right, Peter? Peter says yes, so that's a go. All right, time for a break, but stay with us. We are introducing you to some amazing things for the holiday season, but are grounded in spirituality. That's all next.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game with dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, 7 o'clock all across Barbados. Welcome back to Morning Barbados. Joined now by some wonderful people, a familiar face and a not so familiar face to us here at Morning Barbados. He's been here already for this week, so I think by now he's probably a co-host. It's fine for me to call Adrian Eagard a co-host, right?
Yes, that's fine. Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good morning, and he's brought along the beautiful Cheryl Eversley.
Hello.
To be a part of our discussion this morning. So good to meet you.
Thank you.
All right, now we're talking about the upcoming Hubit pop-up bazaar.
Yes.
Yes. So before we get into what that's all about, let's share a little bit about the word Hubit, because I asked you, where does that come from? It sounds so unique.
Yes, it's actually an anagram for the Hub for Interactive Connections. So think about bringing vendors together with patrons, making connections on whatever level they find works for them. So it's not just about the sale process. It's all about thinking about, okay, well, how can I use this, the services that I can implement around my business or my home, and so on and so forth.
All right, so speaking of connections, we have to make this connection because we know Adrian from Things Gospel, and we're here looking at an assortment of just a few of the things that we can find at Things Gospel. So make this connection with us for the bazaar.
Connection already because we will be a part of the market, the bazaar, which takes place on Saturday, and we also want to encourage other people to be a part of that experience. So we have done that before in previous bazaars. So we wanted to sort of focus a bit on that activity, encourage people to actually register for that. You may have some product that you want to market, you want to get exposed to people. It's the ideal place to do it. And this morning we just brought along some of the items that you can find at Things Gospel in Bridgetown or at Warren's in St. Michael. That's just Warren's upstairs, the Massey stores, and at Bridgetown we are at Hink Street. Our numbers are 426-5128 and in Warren's 421-4775. Quite a range of materials we sell within the store, and we will have a lot of this material displayed also on Saturday at the bazaar.
No, the name is, as it says, Things Gospel. So that's what you could look forward to. I was already exploring the Bible cases. Some people might know what they're already getting for Christmas. You know, I won't say who, but you'll certainly know who you are. So you have, an assortment of Bibles and then some wonderful messages. I particularly love mugs like this, where one, you have the cover, because I'm a slow sipper when it comes to my morning coffee or all-day coffee, as the case may be. So I love to be able to kind of cover it.
It works as a cover, it works as a coaster.
Yeah.
It's a nice combination.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. And then, of course, it has a wonderful message on it, which is always good. I know your works, your love, faith, service, and patient endurance. This one says you're an amazing woman?
Yes,
That's correct.
Oh, good stuff. How about that?
And this one says you're an amazing man.
Oh, yeah.
So we try to, we try to carry things also for men. Sometimes you were looking for, there's so much leaning on the side of the ladies. So we also try to keep things balanced. And
is that why they put everything to do with the men over there with you, Adrian? I see a nice wallet. Yes. There are some nice bracelets for the gentlemen as well. Just what we love to give dad or husband, socks. They get lots of socks and ties.
Yes.
I think we're expanding, opening up a little bit more, but that was the easy go-to thing. How do we register to be a part of the bazaar that's coming up this Saturday?
So we are Hubit Pop-Up Bazaar on both Facebook and Instagram. And once you go to our pages, you'll find the link in our bio. Just click and register right there on your phone or on your tablet, computer, etc.
All right. So Things Gospel is a part of it. Are you targeting a particular market, or can people come to sell, all items?
So far, we have people selling toys. Of course, Things Gospels with books, Bibles, and gift items. We have people doing clothing for men, women, and children, shoes, bags, household items, home decor, treats, Christmas treats. The
so the answer is everything.
Accessories of all kinds. It's a wide variety of things, and that's also one of the key aspects of Hubit as well. We want to have that variety, and of course the creative people bringing their things that they make and sell and
to
so
make
forth.
to offer variety.
Yes.
You were saying something, Adrian.
Right, this special market for Christmas also takes place on Saturday, I have to remind people, and the venue is
Yes,
at
St. Gabriel's School.
And the start time, Cheryl?
We start with the public from 8 in the morning until 5.
Ooh, I love
evening.
that.
So it's a full day.
If I'm out shopping, give me
Yes.
early. If you
Yes.
wanted to start at 6, Cheryl, I would have been okay with that. I'm an early riser anyway. They make me get up early every day. If it's a Saturday, why not?
yeah.
So definitely some interesting things. This is just what we're sharing that's available at Things Gospel. But I mean, just the assortment here kind of opens your mind to if you want to get a few thoughtful gifts.
That's right.
For the Christmas season. This definitely is something interesting. Even like, I don't know if you would want to give this to your wife, because if my husband gave me this, I would think that he probably wanted me to cook more. It says this kitchen is the heart of the home. How about that? So some really interesting and thoughtful gifts. And I find that gifts like this with beautiful messages are great mantras that you really can think about, things inspirational. They have that added sense of thoughtfulness. It feels as though, much thought went into getting the gifts for you. Yeah? And of course, like my mother, when she's heading out to church, she has like 12 bags, because for the hymn book and the Bible and this and that. So just beautiful little carrying cases for your Bibles or your books or what have you that are available. And I'm sure this is available in a variety of colors as well.
Yes, of course. See, there's another one over here. You have a lot of options. There are wide options. Each year I come, I always have to remind people of the Daily Bread, the complete 2025 annual gift edition. I'm going to make a gift of it to you.
Oh, thank you.
And I hope that you will find it very helpful.
Yes.
You start the morning early, and it has some nice devotions for the entire year.
Thank you.
And those are available,
I love devotions.
Those are available in the store. And I want to remind folk where they can find us in Hink Street in Bridgetown, and also at Upstairs Massey Stores in Warrens. Things Gospel, 421-4775. The number in Warrens, 426-5128 in Bridgetown.
Listen, you have to come out to the Hubit pop-up bazaar. Is coming off this Saturday. It's at St. Gabriel's School, so you can't miss that. But my girl, when they talked about gifts for me, she found a case that says God's Girl. That's me.
Wonderful.
Yes? I think this would be nicer for maybe a younger girl.
Yes.
Not quite this girl.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe a little too mature. And it's a little too sparkly. But, it would be a great gift for little ones. But definitely a wide assortment of beautiful things that you can find at Things Gospel. We've told you all about the location. So it's Bibles, Bible cases, books, gift items. You can even get greeting cards.
Yes, of course. Yeah. We've added some costume jewelry in this year, so we want to encourage people to come up. We're trying to make sure that we can meet as many needs as possible, and we welcome you to come visit us.
Absolutely. So all your church supplies, clergy wear as well, Adrian?
Yes. And this is one of the items that clergy will use in visitation, for instance, as well as this comes around the time of communion. Sometimes you get older folk who cannot get out to the service, and in visiting, pastor will take this. He has the elements in here, and that's available in store. And we have, of course, all of the fellowship cups, communion wear, everything that's available for that.
So you can get your plaques, calendars. This is as good a time as any to get your 2025 calendars.
Planners.
You visited the store recently, haven't you?
I have.
That's exactly what we have.
I visit often. And, I like I said, I love these thoughtful gifts. And like for this, I think I gave a friend one of these for his birthday many years ago. And he kind of uses it as a paperweight on his desk.
Yes.
And he says, sometimes when he's having a tough day, the message that he has right in front of him, it kind of centers his thoughts, and it's good. So as we look toward a new year where a lot of people are kind of in that introspective type mode, is wonderful to have these practical and thoughtful gifts to be able to help them to work through the entire year, particularly if they've not had a single day off for 2024.
You send a message to somebody about that.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in. Don't forget, you can register Instagram and Facebook, Things Gospel. They're 421-4775, 426-5128, or 228-4775. And you definitely have to make sure that you get out. This is going to be, the bazaar is going to be monthly.
Yes, that's the plan. So this is our first one. This kicks everything off. Perfect time. It's Christmas, heading into the new year. People will start to set their plans for what they want to do for 2025. And so we're looking to run again from January right down through the rest of the year.
That's right. So it's from 8 in the morning to 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, yes.
And there are 10 by 10 stall spaces available, only $65.
No. It's Christmas.
It's
Christmas. 50.
It's 50? Listen, only for coming on Morning Barbados, you get it for $50. $15 off. How about that? $50 for the small stall spaces, and you can bring out and showcase your goods and services and products in a safe space with other people showing the same.
Correct.
And remember, for Things Gospel, they're open 8:30 to 5:30 Mondays to Saturdays.
Yes.
So you can get in and see everything they have to offer. I've already picked out a few gifts that I myself will pick up as we go through. So thank you so very much for my gift, our daily bread. Always some great inspiration. And I'll see you at Things Gospel. I'll see you at the Hubit Pop-Up Bazaar as well.
Thank you.
Peter's jingling. That means it's time to jingle all the way and win. That's coming up next. So stay with us.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game with dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, welcome back to Morning Barbados. Today we are going for gold, and I have some people who are here to help us get there. We have British TV royalty really joining us this morning in Luella Gideon, who is an actress and has a long list of very lengthy accomplishments behind her in this area. So wonderful to have you with us here on Morning Barbados. Of course, adding to that royalty, she's also of Bajan descent.
Yes, my father. Yeah.
So I'm sure that maybe not perfected the Bajan accent, but she can get close. We'll get into that.
Close. I can do that. I ain't too bad. How does that fare?
That's coming
Out
along.
of 10.
Yeah.
One,
I'd give you an 8.
Yeah, that's not bad. I take that.
And also joining us is Jazz Lintott, who is an award-winning actor and producer as well.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. So good to have both of you here to tell us all about an upcoming play called Going for Gold that explores some very interesting themes, especially at this time where we're looking at regathering here in Barbados in 2025, encouraging people to come long home, as the theme suggests. And we have, an entire decade dedicated to people of color and the struggles they've been through and kind of making that better, which is at the core of what the play is. But before we delve into that, I'll start with you, Luella. Tell us a little bit about you and your background and your love for acting.
I've always wanted to be an actress since I was so small, knee-high to a grasshopper. And I've been very blessed and fortunate to be able to be doing this for the past 37 years and have profile on television, film and radio back home in England. But my father came over in the Windrush generation, came over to England and settled there and then retired here after working. So this story resonates with me about people leaving and coming back and the struggles that they have trying to make a new life for themselves in a hostile environment.
You've been a part of a few interesting titles that we know, most notably the Desmonds. I think every Bajan of a certain age, which is me, would definitely know that. How has that kind of shaped the type of person you are on screen and how you approach the roles that you do?
That's a tricky question. Being a black female actor or comedic actress in the UK, there's not many of us. So a lot of the work that I did and I have done has been a first. But I always choose roles or try to choose roles that have legacy, that stand for something. They're normally, interesting, and I approach by by wanting to give the best of myself to a role to inspire others as well as myself.
That's so interesting, because as we move on to you, Jazz, I know that you're a lead actor in this particular
production,
play. And a bit about your background. You grew up here in Barbados from 4 to 9.
Yeah.
So you were able to kind of get that core teaching of Barbadian culture and really who we are. So let's talk about Frankie Lucas.
Yeah.
That's the person the play is about. What drew you guys to this particular story?
Yeah, I think it's Luella lightly touched on it there. I mean, it's a very important story. The Windrush generation is a really important generation of people, and often their stories get lost. And this particular story is about Frankie, but like Luella was saying, it covers a whole generation of people's story, and it's about people overcoming adversity to achieve great things. And not many people have heard of Frankie prior to the production. He was a great boxer, and if you're a boxing fan of a certain age, you would have remembered Frankie, but the general public didn't really know of him. So to be able to shine a spotlight on his story has been a real privilege and blessing, and through this journey, we've gotten to know his family really well, and they've been extremely appreciative of us doing this, as we have been of them for allowing us to tell this story.
What are some of the most interesting things that you got to learn about this character whom you have to depict, portray in this play?
Well, I think it's just how resilient Frankie was, and how a lot of this generation would have been. The resilience it takes to overcome certain obstacles that you're faced with to go on and achieve great things, but also how the struggles that overcoming those obstacles put on someone.
The toll that it takes to achieve something or have an aspiration. Many of the Windrush generation of people maybe who left Barbados to go to England had an aspiration to do something, to be somebody, and then come home. And it didn't work out that way. And I think when they arrived in England, it wasn't quite what they expected. So there was a real struggle to keep that ambition, keep that motivation, and sometimes some of them lost that along the way. The dreams got shattered, and some bits were retained. And it's about trying to, what that does to you as an individual, your sense of self, your sense of belonging. Because Frankie and Jean, the love of his life, who I play, she was from Barbados, and very early on in the play, they say, why did we get sent for to this cold country? They missed home. Everything was about coming back home to what was familiar and what felt safe, and how they survived that as a couple.
And you're so right when you say a lot of the times you don't think about that. We have so many relatives who live outside of Barbados in an environment so different to what we're accustomed to here, culturally and otherwise. So this play is meant to kind of really welcome Barbadians into that space and share from an intimate place of what his life was like, personality, identity, all of these things factor in. So talk to me about the coming together, because here we have Jean and Frankie sitting on the set of Mornin Barbados. The coming together of the cast, of the people who are working behind the scenes to make it happen. How did that come about?
Well, it came about through a lot of hard work and determination. I think I said yesterday, when your will is stronger than your skill, you can make anything happen. And, my mum, the way it all started because my mum, she used to be a journalist here. She used to work for The Nation, and she'd always loved writing. But then life happens, and she became a teacher and deputy head of a sixth form, and she put her writing on hold. And then she got frustrated with me being cast as terrorists and drug dealers in UK TV and film, and she knew of this story about Frankie, and decided to do some research. And anyway, she ended up writing the play for herself to be able to write, and also to give myself a platform to showcase myself in other roles that weren't just terrorists and drug dealers. So that's how this journey started. And along the way, we've just been fortunate to find great people like Luella, the other cast members, Daniel Francis Swaby, Cyril Blake, Nigel Boyle, have joined the team, and to really flesh out these real life characters. And then behind the scenes, it's we try to work on love and creating a team that sort of support the vision.
Yeah, what has been the most rewarding thing so far, Luella, working behind the scenes? And you mentioned that you've been able to kind of engage and interact with people who knew, relatives and things like that. So, rewards from being able to work toward telling this story.
Well, it's for me personally, it's twofold. Playing somebody who's alive, because Jean, literally, I think she's just arrived in the country today, but she's a real person. It's her story, and being able to play this part and for her to tell me that, you did me proud. I know that I've got the essence of her story, and that's really great. And then also because my dad was a big boxing fan and a big cricket fan, knowing that I've told part of that Windrush story, of how hard it was to leave Barbados and come home. I feel kind of privileged, and I wish he were here to see this production, because I know he would really enjoy it. So emotionally, it fulfills me on both sides. Coming home after 14 years, I haven't been here for 14 years, and playing a Bajan in Barbados, it's kind of sweet.
All right, well, if it means that you look like a Bajan already. I mean, these days, people tell you that, right? You want to say, you look like a Bajan, once you start with the accent and so on. And for you, for a lot of Barbadians, this was just a story that we saw in the news. They did not get to experience all of what happened. What does it mean for you as someone also with Barbadian roots to be able to share this story in this way?
It's just, I sort of touched on it briefly earlier, it's just a privilege to be able to tell the story and to shine a light on it. And it's just been a process that's really rewarding on so many levels, because it's a story that not many people get the opportunity to hear, and also to be able to bring the show to Barbados it's just been amazing. I can't believe we're actually here and able to present it. It's great. And also, we had, when we was in England, we had people fly over from St Vincent and the Grenadines to come and see it, who saw on the Facebook group that Frankie Lucas had a play about him, and they used to live in the village that he was in, and they flew over to watch it. And to see the audience response in England of the Caribbean community, and being so thankful for telling the story, and being able to say to us, I saw my story in that. It's made us extremely proud to be able to play a part in that, and then also to form relationships with Frankie's family, Jean Bevelle, and his son Michael, and for them to be so touched. They've been to see the show at least 20 times, and there were things about Frankie's story that they weren't aware of because it had never been spoken about, but through the in-detail interviews that my mum, Lisa Lintott, had done, we were able to piece together Frankie's story. So for the family to be able to learn something new about their partner or their dad has been a real blessing. So it's just, it's been great.
All right, wonderful stuff. It comes off. Show dates Thursday, December 12th. So that's day after tomorrow.
Yep.
And it runs through the 15th is at the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre, Queen's Park. So the historic Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre in Queen's Park. Doors open at 6:30, start time 7:15. And you can purchase your tickets online at goingforgoldplay.com. So that's goingforgoldplay.com, where you get to see these Barbadians by descent who still have deep ties to the island, but who are sharing a story of love and
Yeah.
legacy and just resilience.
Yeah.
And I love that. So make sure you grab your tickets and come on out and be a part of it. The two leads sitting with us here, Jazz and Luella, but on the day, it will be, of course,
Frankie.
And Jean.
No, you have to say it with the Bajan accent.
Jean.
Jean from
Barbados.
Yeah, so make sure you come on out and be a part of it. And I know we love some wonderful theater. So it's Thursday, December 12th through 15th, Daphne Joseph Hackett Theater. You have doors opening early, so you come in, you get seated. You know, it's a beautiful space, nicely air conditioned. And, you know, it's a small, intimate space that I think will be right for telling this story. Purchase your tickets online, goingforgoldplay.com. And come and see this
we
amazing
do have a
story.
discount code for them as well if they
Okay.
buy it online, which is NCF Gold 20, the number 20. So if you do purchase it online, you can get a $20 discount, or you can buy it on the door. However, it's probably best to get it online if you can, so that you can secure your spot.
Yeah, you don't want to be disappointed. Final word from you, Jean, from Barbados.
Well, if you like reggae and you like music, come along. If you like boxing, come along. If you like a love story and triumph, come along. If you want a good night out, come to Going for Gold. Come along.
Absolutely.
How was that?
That was very good, Jean. I'm smiling already. So Going for Gold, the play, is running this week, starting Thursday. Grab your tickets, get someone good, and come out and enjoy it, and then you can tell us all about it. Thanks. So wonderful to meet you both, and I look forward to seeing you on stage.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
All right. It's time for another break here on Morning Barbados. Go get your tickets. We'll be right back.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
This time of year, especially as we move around from the various supermarkets and different spots across the island, we often see a kettle out there. So as you move around, make sure you share, because the Red Cross is often out and about, and other agencies that are raising funds for various reasons. But most importantly, a lot of this money raised, the funds raised, the way that we help, it goes towards people who are most in need. So we're joined by Kiri Lizama, who's Program and Operations Manager with the Barbados Red Cross Society. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Good to have you here. And Danielle Toppin is Director General of the Barbados Red Cross Society. So good morning to you and welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right, great to have both of you ladies here to talk, especially at this time of year, about the work that you're doing. So for those people who are listening in and have only maybe heard of the Red Cross, give us a brief intro into who you are and what you do.
Well, I noticed that you spoke about the kettle, and that actually is one of the things people often think Red Cross is Salvation Army.
I know the difference with the two, but
yes,
generally there's so many agencies.
But we do a lot of the same work.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's for good reason. We've been around since 1960 as the British Red Cross. Primarily, I realize people think of us as first aid, but we do so much more. So we do a lot of disaster response training. We do the Meals on Wheels program, which has been going since the 1960s, where we provide daily meals for homebound individuals. And we also do a lot of work in helping people recover from disasters, which is what this initiative that we're here to talk about is one of those types of activities.
So let's get into that, Kiri, because we had the second named hurricane in the hurricane season. We're now past that. November 30th, thank goodness, is behind us. But we had some real serious effects, especially for the local fishing community here in Barbados from Hurricane Beryl, and you're working to help in that area.
Yes, of course. So the work that the Barbados Red Cross is doing is part of a broader regional response with the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. So the cluster office is based in Trinidad, and Barbados' response to that is, as you said, primarily for fish vendors. So the program that we're rolling out right now is providing financial assistance to fish vendors that were affected. It was seen as complementary to the work that the government was doing. And so, we provided our first financial assistance at the end of November. There'll be another one at the end of December, and then another in January.
Let's talk a little bit about the specific financial challenges and other challenges that the fisher folk have experienced as a result.
Yeah. I think a lot of the focus has been, the scale of it is huge. I think most of us haven't even really seen the impact, and we really only did get the full extent of it when we went and did the needs assessment. So going and talking to people who've been impacted. But even so, I think most of the focus has been on fishermen and boat owners and people who are actively involved at that end of the value chain. What we wanted to do was to also provide support for people along the value chain who will be affected, because fish vendors rely on boat owners, and in many cases what we found is vendors are married to boat owners, so you'll have a household that's doubly impacted. So we really wanted to, and with the Red Cross, when there's a event of this scale, an emergency appeal is launched, and what that does is that allows national societies to do work to help in the response and the relief and the recovery. So coming out of this emergency appeal, that was one of the main areas that we knew was necessary to support in Barbados.
Looking at the information that you shared on this initiative, I was struck by the key figures. Beryl affected more than 184,000 people in Grenada, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, Barbados, and Jamaica. Just thinking about that widespread damage, we know it caused severe damage to infrastructure, services, and livelihoods, as you have mentioned. So in getting into this initiative, I don't think we need to justify any further why it is a worthy cause to be able to work toward this. But how generally can people assist? What's the process? And how are you going to kind of work to helping these vendors financially?
So in general, there's a lot of international funding that came in, but I think the Barbados Red Cross, we're always open to donations and to make sure that the donation goes to initiatives like this. As Danielle mentioned, there are other initiatives as well. But I think being out doing the assessments with people, we had the privilege of meeting these people and understanding their resilience. They have a lot of respect for the work that they do. They're very proud. And so to be able to see that and to help in some way, the money that we're providing is not really going to cover the losses that a lot of them had. But in some small way, it's a kind of replacement for the season that they did not expect to have. The opening of the season in November, I mean, it was not what they expected. So I think in some small way we've been able to help, and I think with support from the public, there's more that we can do in the future, and this is a good initiative to build on.
And I know for you, Director General, these things are not possible without that international funding that you talked about. Being able to get a number of these agencies in to support the, again, numbers, 2,500 people affected here in Barbados alone. More than 200 fishing boats destroyed, and a lot of families who depend on these people by extension, little ones, elderly relatives, even neighbors. So let's talk a little bit about the agencies who you've been able to bring on board to make this happen.
Well, I mean, I wanna start, and I don't know, they haven't said about calling names, but we've had banks who have given just generous offers of support, not just for us, but for the other national societies. So specifically, the St. Vincent Red Cross and the Grenada Red Cross. So that is a kind of, we do have a pattern of banks such as Republic Bank, CIBC, they do give to areas such as this. We mentioned the International Federation of the Red Cross, but even locally, we wouldn't have been able to do this without Barbados Fisheries Department. I mean, they've been so willing to assist. We've been very impressed just by their knowledge and how plugged in they are to the community. Organizations like the Barbados Association of Professional Social Workers, they've helped us when we did the needs assessments. Barnufo, which is the fishing organization. Really, I think it is, so there is funding, and that is always important. But I think building relationships, even building relationships with local fish vendors, because one of the things you asked, how can people help? I think taking your business to fish markets is an amazing way of generating business for people who've been directly impacted, right? Because that way, and it's not to cut out the supermarket, but it is to ensure that they get money in hand at a time when maybe they're not getting what they used to. And I think we saw that across the board, that people, if even they're making money, they're not picking back up with the speed that they usually do, and they're not making as much at this time of year as what they would normally rely on. And we found a lot of them, a lot of single parents, male and female, rely on that to get children back to school. It's Christmas. So I would say one of the main ways that individuals can support is to go and support someone who's selling fish.
So have you already decided on the core of people whom you will help with this assistance that has come through with donors, and how will the rollout occur?
Yeah, so at the moment we have 130 persons, fish vendors, that we're supporting, and we're doing that primarily through MoneyGram, and in that way, I mean, for their basic needs. So there isn't necessarily conditions on what they must absolutely spend it on, but it's meant to be a sort of supplementary income in some ways. And so they have, it's multi-purpose cash, and they have the liberty to spend that on basic needs without specific conditions. So that started already, and as I said, we did the first payment already. There's still a few people that have yet to pick up their funding, so if they're watching, as a reminder that they should do that, and a next payment will be available at the end of December and again in January.
That's wonderful. How did the registration go? I know as Barbadians, we can be a proud people, sometimes to our detriments, and there are a lot of people who, they need the assistance, but they don't necessarily know how to ask. So, hats off to the Red Cross for really working with these agencies to take lead on this. But how did the registration generally go, getting people in?
I think that you're very right about Barbadians, and I think that speaks to the scale of the impact that people really did express need. For me, I think when we went on, we went to landing sites, we went to the fishing markets, and we spoke to who was there. Based on that, because this has been a long process, so based on that, that was a registration, but it was also an assessment of need. So it is based on vulnerability, and some people did tell us we're not the ones that you need to support.
Wow.
Because there are people who have bounced back a little quicker or have other social support systems. There were some of them who thought that the support should go to other groups in the sector before it should go to them. But I think that speaks to the scale of the impact that people generally have said, thank you, that they need assistance. Even if it's a top-up, it's a top-up that helps you, like Kiri said, cover your basic needs, because multi-purpose cash, it's not a voucher, it's not us telling you what you should spend on. It really is a way of just helping to bring them some level of stability so that they can build back towards really restoring their livelihoods.
Absolutely, and there's a bigger picture which we're going to have you back to talk about, which is really the climate crisis that we're facing and how we all can work together to be able to, prepare ourselves more adequately, because that itself is very important. So again, following months of assessment and working with fish vendors who were negatively impacted by the passage of Hurricane Beryl, the Barbados Red Cross Society was able to make their first of 3 payments to vendors, and the second one is now available. So make sure you reach out. There are some people who we mentioned
end of the month.
At the end of the month. Yes, we're a little ways out, but we want to thank you for coming here and sharing. And it's important for us to kind of give kudos to those who help among us.
Can I say one last thing?
Absolutely.
Just a reminder to people then to definitely collect it. They have a timeline to collect it by. So if you've been contacted to move forward with collecting it, for people to understand that really how we selected people very much based on need and as vendors, because they were also not due to get at that time support. So that was how we made those decisions about who to select, and to make sure you bring your ID. And definitely they would have all received a number to call, a hotline if they have any challenges between the hours of 5:30 and
to 6.
To 6, right? So if you're having challenges with picking up your money, call us, let us know, and we'll do what we have to do to fix that.
Challenges with picking up your money? I think not. I want to thank you both for sharing with us.
Thank you.
All right, and wishing all of those people who have been directly impacted, all the best. I know, especially at this time of year when you want to provide for your families in the way that you're accustomed to, your children, even friends and extended relatives, this really can go a long way to getting you back on track. So again, thanks for the wonderful work Barbados Red Cross Society is doing. Time for another break here on Morning Barbados. Stay tuned, though. You just might win something coming up.
Ooh. If we stay, can we win too?
Yes.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And together we will travel the world.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back. We're here to tell you all about an HCQC connection. And when we say HC, it's one thing. When we say QC, you often think of Erica Hickson because she was here. She's president of the Queen's College Association. Welcome.
Hi, teacher. Thanks so much.
Hey, co-host.
So glad to be here, as always.
Yeah, but wonderful to have you wearing this hat. The first time I heard about this CQC connection, I was very intrigued. So you guys kind of got together and you said you're going to do some initiatives as a team.
Yes. So before my time at QC, so I must pay respect to everyone that came before me at QC and HC. You may be aware, or some people may not be aware, that there was a very, very close connection to HC and QC in that the girls at QC used to go across and do Cape Sciences at HC, and the HC boys went across at QC and did the arts and things like that. So I think, when the schools were in close proximity, there was this big school tie, and even with the moving of the locations, the organizations still come together and do initiatives to better the schools infrastructurally and mentorship, support-wise, whatever the schools need.
Absolutely. Now we're back here. It's time for your 4th annual online uplifting year-end fundraising concert. Quite a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
But definitely meant to do lots.
Yes. So this concert, this time around, I think is the 3rd, features G Syndicate as the headliners, but then a lot of performances by other QC and HC alum, faculty, students, staff, coming together to really bring the holiday spirit and joy. And then there would also be some performances that are non-seasonal as well. And that's kicking off on December 19th. That's next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Barbados time, 6 p.m. US Canada time, because people will be watching virtually from around the world. Yes.
And it's a fundraiser. So tell us what, these fundraising efforts are kind of meant to trump up.
So for these huge concerts and these larger efforts, you have for HC, building out a whole entire robotics lab. You have for QC, the pavilion, equipping that with the sports equipment. I have a number of other things here listed, but the food science lab for HC. There's work on drawings that were initiated, constructing the existing chemistry lab and equipping that. And then for QC, building out the perimeter fencing as well around Queen's College.
How important is it for you to be able to give back to the school?
I think that's actually very crucial, because that's how schools really thrive and survive. There's only so much that the government can do, and they go above and beyond to help the schools, but it's really contributions of the alumni that keep the schools and young people, with the best infrastructure, the best, school programs, education, given things that we would have gotten support when we were at school from alumni when it was our time.
Now you're encouraging alumni and friends of HC and QC to register.
Yes.
To give and maybe view online as well. So tell us a bit about that.
Yes. So the concert, it's actually going to be on YouTube. HC, QC alumni, you can just go on there to watch. You can actually make donations from today right up to the concert, during, after, that type of thing. I have the donation information here as well. If you're local, you can contribute directly to the Queen's College Association account. That's CIBC First Caribbean Bank Warrants. The checking account number is 100-1137-7473. I guess when you go on the Facebook and the Instagram, the websites, which are all HCQC alumni and the QCA websites, you can get this number if you didn't get the number just now. The branch transit number is 9326. And there's also checks that can be donated to the First Caribbean account. If you're an international person watching, there's the hcqcalumninetwork.org, and contributions can be made via that or the email, PayPal, Zelle, qcalums@gmail.com.
Is there a particular figure you're working toward?
Yes. So this time around, $120,000 should really help cover the initiatives. If people donate, you can donate any amount, $2, $5. But if you think about it, if about 200 people donate $20 right there, you're really building up the money quite easily. And we have a lot of prizes to win, so that should be exciting. No matter what you donate, you have a chance to win 2 round-trip tickets, compliments of BTMI between Barbados and New York, Barbados. And we have OSI on board as well with a 43-inch smart TV. I know Unicommer was also a sponsor, so lots to win.
Absolutely. It's coming up on Thursday, December 19th, for those people who are going to be live and in person. I know that you hinted at a few of the people who will be there, but a little birdie told me there will be some surprises as well.
Yes, there are additional prizes, and there are additional surprises in terms of entertainment as well. Let's not forget that it's not just local in terms of CQC, the Old Harazonian Society, the Queen's College Association, but remember there actually is an HCQC in USA, in Canada, so it's bringing everybody from around the world together. So, of course, so many contributions, so many different cultures coming together.
All right, that is good stuff. So, Erica Hinkson, president of the Queen's College Association, but getting together with the Old Harazonians to be able to put on this fundraiser. It's coming up Thursday, December 19th, 7 o'clock, right here at Barbados time. For those in the U.S. and Canada, a little earlier for you. We know it's DSL. So it's also going to be available on YouTube. They don't want you to miss this amazing night, but they want you to contribute as well so that they can reach the goal of $120,000 plus and be able to help their respective schools and our children as they do it. Again, great to see you as always.
Great to see you as always, Tisha.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day and a wonderful holiday. I'm very excited for Christmas.
Absolutely. So shouting out to all the HC and QC people. Here's where we take a break, Peter. No, we're wrapping. Is that kind of time already? Look at that. 2 minutes to go before 8 o'clock. I didn't even realize that it was that kind of time. Remember, we're doing the CBC What You Can Give Me for Christmas promotion. It starts today, so listen out for those calls on the radio stations. And history was made in Barbados. Udally Wickham is the first blind person with lead team Tony to compete in Run Barbados. We're going to share more about that with you in subsequent shows, so make sure you stay tuned to hear more. Coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados, crossover sport rugby, they're scouting, and we're going to tell you how you can get involved. Plus we reach out to a Bajan who's living the life in New York and who wants to share all about how they're continuing to be Bajan. And you get a chance to win as well. So have a great day today. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We'll see you again, God willing, tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados.